Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference with Mr. Michael Rasmussen. I don't think he will need any further introduction as the wearer of the yellow jersey. Besides Michael, at the right side of Michael, Mr. Theo de Rooij, our team manager, and all the way at the end of the table, Mr. Harro Knijf, who is the lawyer of our team. Michael will start with giving a statement to you. So will Theo de Rooij and Mr. Knijf do. And afterwards, of course, there is a chance for you to ask your questions. That all will be conducted by Christophe and his people. So I would like first to give the word to Michael Rasmussen. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I'm sorry that for the necessity of this press conference, but obviously there's a big demand for it. I have made a mistake, and UCI has given me a written warning. No, sorry, a recorded warning for that administrative mistake that I have made, and I accept that. I take full responsibility for it. I'm sorry that the situation is coming out now at the moment when I'm wearing the yellow jersey, and it's harming a sport that I dearly love, and it's harming the Tour de France and the ASO. I want to make absolutely clear that I've had outer competition tests prior to the Tour de France, and up until this morning I've had 14 anti-doping tests during the tour, and all the results are negative. And I do support my team and our sponsor Rabobank in a fight against doping and a clean sport. And now I will let our lawyer, Mr. Knijf, explain the technicalities of the situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to inform you in more details. First of all, you get a translation what Michael was saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to inform you in more details about the recorded warning Michael Rasmussen has received on the 29th of June of this year. As you probably know, that recorded warning was referring to a situation that Michael has not provided in time a modification of his whereabouts in the period of June. And that's true. Michael has made an administrative error, and he got for that a recorded warning by the UCI, and Michael is accepting that recorded warning. There was also another situation, and that was in March 2006. Michael had to deliver to the UCI before the 1st of April his whereabouts for the second quarter of that year. He received a written warning. That's the normal procedure. A lot of athletes received that written warning on that moment. He received a written warning for providing his whereabouts information for the second quarter. And Michael fulfilled his obligation by sending a fax on the 2nd of April with all the information necessary to fulfill his obligation. Another thing what Michael did was making a phone call on the same day, the 2nd of April, to the UCI, confirming that he has sent a fax with his whereabouts for the second quarter of that year. The reaction of UCI was, thank you and okay. And Michael is rather surprised to read in the letter of the 29th of June that the UCI has given him a recorded warning for not providing in time the whereabout information for the second quarter of 2006. Michael did not receive a recorded warning on that moment, nor the team manager received a recorded warning on that moment. And in my opinion, it cannot be the reality to give an athlete a recorded warning without any notification about such a warning. There are two other things stipulated in the letter of the UCI of the 29th of June. One subject refers to the same situation as the recorded warning about not in time providing information about his modification of the whereabouts in June last. So that covers the same subject. Another situation is a missed test reported by the anti-doping authority in Denmark on May 6 of this year. I have to make two remarks on that subject. There was not a missed test on May 6. It shall be an administrative error by UCI. Maybe they refer to another occasion, but on the 6th May there was not a missed test. Administrative failure is an important word in this case. The second remark is that it is questionable from a legal point of view of the Danish doping authority is authorized to do tests with Michael outside Denmark, because Michael has a license from another federation. Until the 1st of January of this year, he has a federation from, he has a license from the Mexican Federation. As from the 1st of January, he has a license from the Federation of Monaco. In that case, and in that respect, it is highly questionable whether the Danish doping authority are competent to do tests outside Denmark. It's very important to realize that with the recorded warning, this situation is finalized. And that's also the opinion of the UCI. And I want to make a quote what Mr. Pat McQuaid was saying yesterday evening on the Dutch television. There is no reason why he cannot continue the Tour de France until next Sunday. And there was a statement today by Mr. Pat McQuaid on the French press. Legally, he has every right to stay in the race, and there's no way that he should be out of the league. Thank you.
On the 29th of June, I received a recorded warning that was sent to Michael Rasmussen. In fact, it was the second, I think it's the second time I ever received a mail from the UCI about the whereabouts. The first time was in March 2006, that already stated Mr. Knijf. And the second time was the recorded warning. I contacted the UCI, Mrs. Gripper, on June 29 to tell her that I took this message very seriously, that I gave a fine to Michael because I agreed with the UCI that he made an administrative error by being not correct or not efficient in providing his whereabouts in his trip to Mexico, and she fully agreed with my point of view. As an employer, as a team, we are respecting the regulations of the UCI, especially where it comes to the strict confidentiality around the whereabouts, including the warnings that are issued. So therefore, I respected the regulation and I took no further action in communicating this recorded warning to the outside world. A few weeks later, Michael Rasmussen was having the yellow jersey in the Tour de France, which he is still having. Suddenly, from Denmark, the news came out that he was suspended for the national team, and in addition to that, of course, all the elements of the recorded warning that should be strictly confidential was ending up in the peloton and in the press. Then we got recent declarations from Mr. Pat McQuaid stating that Michael Rasmussen can continue in the Tour de France because of the administrative failures are the cause of the problems, and there's nothing that can prevent Michael from continuing in the Tour de France. Our team is internally informed about the places where the riders are training. It's very simple. We are having a trainer, and the riders almost have daily contact with the trainer about their training. So it's very easy to locate them. There's no way this team does not know where the riders are. The team is indicating clearly to the riders that they have to fulfill their obligations where it comes to the whereabouts. I also did that to Michael. He had a small failure, and I fined him for that. So we take that also seriously. Unfortunately, the existing systems are highly insufficient because they are creating a big margin for errors. So I would like to see in the future that there will be more efficient systems regarding the administration of the whereabouts. A system like the CSC team has done starting this year is a very good example, and we will be implementing a system like that next year because we are taking this very seriously. I also want to make another remark. For sure, there will be more riders in the peloton with recorded warnings. And their names, they are not known. Only the name from the wearer of the yellow jersey in the Tour de France is known. Therefore, I urgently ask the teams and the authorities to undertake actions to make good agreements about this confidentiality. It's confidentiality for everybody, or all the names have to be known. The rules have to be the same for everybody. Last thing is about the anti-doping policy of Rabobank. We are having an extremely experienced medical team. We are doing internal controls already for years. For years we are working for a clean and responsible sport. Within this context, there has never appeared any signal that was indicating in the direction of possible doping use by Michael Rasmussen. The same thing appears clearly from the UCI controls, the recent controls and the controls longer before, during and before the Tour de France. And I would like to conclude by stating that this team has the full support of sponsor Rabobank in this matter. Thank you.
Question for Michael. On the 2nd of April, when you called the UCI, do you remember who you spoke to confirm they received the fax?
I talked to Miss Anne Gripper.
Anne Gripper. J'ai pas compris À qui vous aviez parlé, et c'était à l'UCI, et c'était un gripper. Ok.
Next question.
Question from Michael again. Michael, why do you have a license in Monaco, not in Denmark? And then, have you ever been tested by Monaco's anti-doping agency, if there is one?
Because I am following the UCI rules and I have my license at my residence. And I have not been tested by the Monegasque Federation, no.
Je peux préciser qu'il y a beaucoup de coureurs qui ont une licence monégasque, donc il n'est pas le seul.
And a lot of riders have their license in Monaco.
A question for Mr. Knife. You say, as I understand, you have got 3 warnings, but in the letter from 29 June, it says that Michael Rasmussen have got 2 warnings from UCI and 2 warnings from the Danish anti-doping agency. What is your reaction?
That's correct. 2 recorded warnings from the UCI, 1 written warning from the anti-doping authority in Denmark, and 1 recorded warning from the anti-doping Denmark, and that refers to a missed test on May 6. And I told you earlier that should be an administrative error. There was no missed test on May 6, and maybe that will refer to another occasion, but I don't know.
Michael, Mr. Doy, over here to the left. Could you just tell us how much the fine was, please? L'amende, c'était combien?
L'amende 10 000 euros.
10,000 euros.
C'est une question pour Michael. Ici, right side. So, sorry for my English, but do you understand that we can't trust you because you have missed a lot of controls since 1 year, more than 1 year? And do you understand that people doesn't believe you at the moment because you are one of the riders who are not at the good place during the year? All the time you miss to live your plans, you miss to talk to the UCI where you are. It's all you give the answer always on when you are always in late when you give the answer. So do you believe or do you understand that at the moment most of the people here doesn't believe you when you said you are clean, when you said you are okay to stay here, and when you say you are supposed to win the Tour de France?
Well, as the lawyer just made clear, there's 1 missed test by the UCI. By the UCI is 1. There's a second written warning because I did not inform them about my information for 1 day when I was at a UCI race. UCI, to make this clear, the warning from 2006, the written warning, I had to send in my information by rules on the 15th of March. That I purely and simply forgot about. On the 24th of March, UCI, they issued me a written warning even though they had information on me until the end of March, 31st of March. I come home from Criterium International on the 1st of April and find this letter in my mailbox. 1 day after, on the 2nd of April, I call up Angripper and apologize for the matter and immediately send in my updated information for the whole second quarter. That can hardly be counted as a missed test.
Could you explain us the difference between written and recorded warning? Because we don't understand exactly the difference.
I can explain that, yes. A written warning is a warning without any consequence. A written warning is asking for to give the athlete the possibility to fulfill his obligations within certain days. I think 7 days. And a written warning has no consequence. A recorded warning, well, that's a word. That wording is recorded, and that's the difference.
Last week, Whitney Richards told us a story that in 2002, he asked you to bring a box to Italy that he claims was later filled with alleged doping products. Do you deny that story? Can you comment on that? Why would he say something like that?
I have no idea why he would say anything like that, and as I said the other day at the post-race press conference, I can only deny it. The story is not true. Well, I'm hoping that I've been able to clarify the many stories that has been around me in the last couple of days regarding the missed test, and I hope that it's absolutely clear to everybody today, and that we from now on can go on and focus on the race.
Michael, regarding your clarification, you've said you had a Monaco license because it was a license at your residence and you have not been tested by the Monaco authorities. Could I ask the same question about your previous racing license, which, if I understand correctly, was a Mexican racing license? How long did you have that license? How long did you reside each year in Mexico? And how many times were you tested by the Mexican authorities?
I have been licensed in Mexico for 2 years prior to this year, and I have not been tested by the Mexican Federation.
And your residence period in Mexico?
Well, in the same time period for 2 years. I was resident in Mexico for 2 years, yes.
Last question for especially Theo. All legal technicalities left aside, please. Mr. Jesper Vorde, the DCU president, told L'Equipe and told Reuters this morning that actually Michael had received 4 warnings, 2 from ADD, 2 from the UCI, and that you knew about it before the start of the Tour de France. So do you think a 10,000 euro fine is fine, if I may say so?
I think we went through all the details of the recorded warning before. The last recorded warning on March 26 wasn't a recorded warning. I contacted the UCI about it, and they confirmed, and they said there was no reason why Michael Rasmussen could not start in the Tour de France, and it was being stated yesterday by Mr. McQuaid on 2 occasions in the international press.